My name is Hannah Cole. For most of my life, my family called me the poor one. They laughed at my old car, my small rental house, my simple clothes. They thought I was weak, broke, and easy to ignore. But the day they gathered in my sister's giant suburban mansion to decide my future without me was the day my lawyer rang the doorbell and every smug smile in that room died in slow motion. I grew up in a small town in Ohio. We were not rich, but we were fine. My dad worked at the steel plant. My mom stayed home, kept the house clean, made casseroles, and prayed over bills at the kitchen table. I was the middle child. My brother, Ryan, was the golden boy. Football star, loud laugh, big plans. My sister, Amanda, was the pretty one. Cheerleader, always dating someone with money, always too good for our little town. Me, I was just Hannah. Too quiet, too average, too invisible. At least, that's how they treated me. When I turned 19, my dad had a heart attack in the plant parking lot. He died before the ambulance arrived. The world cracked open. The bills got worse. The house felt empty. My mom cried in the shower so we wouldn't hear. Ryan got a football scholarship. Amanda got engaged to a guy with a nice car and connections. I got responsibility. I took 2 part-time jobs, one at a grocery store and one at a diner. I paused college for a semester to help mom. That semester turned into years. Whenever I'd drag myself home from a double shift smelling like fries and bleach, I'd find my siblings posting on social media. Cancun trips, rooftop parties, new clothes, new cars. I remember one photo in particular. Ryan, standing next to a rented sports car. Caption, "Work hard, play harder." Some people stuck in the same old life. Not me. I was the some people. The first time they mocked my life to my face, we were at Thanksgiving. Amanda had married rich. Her husband, Blake, worked in real estate. They had a huge house outside Columbus. White stone, tall glass windows, the kind of place that makes you feel poor the second you walk in. We all gathered there. I arrived in my 10-year-old Honda with a dent in the side. I parked at the end of the street so it wouldn't ruin the photos. Inside, everything was perfect. Marble countertops, a giant chandelier, candles that smelled like money and pretension. I handed Amanda a pumpkin pie I'd bought on discount. She took it with this tight smile. "Oh, you didn't have to bring anything, Hannah. We know things are tight for you." The word stabbed. Tight for you. Ryan chuckled from the kitchen island, sipping a craft beer. "Hey, at least she brought something. You gotta respect the hustle." Then he leaned closer to Blake, thinking I couldn't hear. "Her poor life is her personality now." Blake laughed. Amanda didn't correct them. She just popped the plastic lid off my cheap pie like it was somehow contagious. I swallowed my anger, tasted the bitterness. I told myself, it's fine. Let them think what they want. I know the truth of what I've done for this family. Because while they were playing rich, I'd kept mom's lights on. I'd paid her property taxes when she almost lost the house. I'd driven her to every doctor appointment. They didn't know. They never asked. Then came mom's diagnosis, stage 4, lung cancer. I was in the hospital room when the doctor said it. I watched mom's hands shake as she gripped the thin blanket. I reached for her and she whispered, "I don't want to be a burden, honey." A burden. My mother thought she was a burden. But when I called the family group chat to tell Ryan and Amanda, their first questions weren't, "How's mom?" or "Is she in pain?" Ryan's first question, "What's the insurance like?" Amanda's, "Is the house paid off?" I remember standing in the hospital hallway, pressed to my ear, fluorescent lights buzzing above me, and feeling sick. They talked like investors checking on a failing property, not children talking about their dying mother. The months that followed were hell. Chemo, radiation, endless pills, and hospital visits. I cut my hours down to one job and picked up remote data entry at night. I slept less, worried more, and watched my savings disappear. Ryan visited twice, once for 20 minutes, once to take a selfie and tweet about family first. Amanda came when she needed something for her Instagram. a picture of her holding Mom's hand, captioned, "Hold your loved ones tight. Life is short." She was gone 15 minutes later, rushing to a hair appointment, but I stayed. I stayed when Mom couldn't stop throwing up. I stayed when she woke up confused at 3 a.m. I stayed when the nurse pulled me aside and quietly said, "You should start thinking about arrangements." Mom died on a rainy Tuesday. I held her hand as her breaths got slower, shallower. I whispered, "It's okay, Mom. I'm here. You can rest now." Her last words were a soft apology. "I'm sorry I couldn't leave you more." Then she was gone. I buried her in a simple service. Ryan complained about the timing because it clashed with a game. Amanda asked if we could make it quick because Blake doesn't like cemeteries. I felt something harden in me that day. Something cold and still.
A week later, I got a call from a lawyer. "Ms. Cole, your mother's will is ready to be read. Are you available next Thursday?" I didn't even know she had a will. I thought there was nothing to leave. Just the little old house we grew up in and some furniture from the 80s. But I agreed. He said Ryan and Amanda would be there too. When I texted the family group chat, Amanda replied first. "Great, maybe we can finally sort out the house. It's not fair if Hannah just stays there for free forever." For free. I had paid the mortgage for the last 6 years. My name was on the receipts, but not on the title. Ryan chimed in. "Yeah, let's be fair. Mom would want everything equal. No freeloaders." My fingers shook as I typed back. "Sure, let's be fair." The will reading took place at the lawyer's office, in a small conference room with a long wooden table and blinds half closed against the afternoon sun. The lawyer was an older man named Mr. Jensen. Gray suit, wire-rimmed glasses, calm voice. He greeted us, offered water, motioned for us to sit. Amanda and Blake walked in like they owned the building. Amanda wore a cream blazer, expensive perfume, and that permanent look of mild annoyance rich people wear around cheaper fabric. Ryan strutted in 10 minutes late, sunglasses on indoors, white sneakers bright and spotless. He plopped down across from me and grinned. "So, Hannah, you think Mom left you the house? That your good daughter act paid off?" Blake smirked. "Hey, maybe she left you the old couch. Sentimental value, right?" I stared at the polished table, jaw clenched. In my head, I replayed every long night with Mom, her tired eyes, her weak smile, her saying, "You're my rock, Hannah." Mr. Jensen cleared his throat. "Thank you all for coming. Your mother, Evelyn Cole, left specific instructions regarding her estate." Ryan sat up straighter. Amanda crossed her legs, ready. I held my breath. "To my son Ryan, I leave my love and my forgiveness. I hope one day you understand that money is not a personality. I leave you $5,000, which is what you sent me in the last 10 years combined, and the scrapbook of your childhood games you never asked me about." Ryan's jaw dropped. "5,000? That's it?" He turned red, then pale. Mr. Jensen continued. "To my daughter Amanda, I leave my love and my forgiveness. I hope one day you see people, not price tags. I leave you $5,000, which is the approximate cost of your wedding dress that I was never invited to help choose. I also leave you my jewelry box. There isn't much gold, but there is a locket with a picture of you as a little girl. I miss that girl." Amanda's face tightened. She tried to laugh it off, but her eyes shimmered. "And to my daughter Hannah," Mr. Jensen said, looking right at me now, voice softening, "I leave everything else." Silence. The air left the room. Ryan leaned forward. "Wait, what?" Mr. Jensen continued reading. "That includes the house at 214 Maple Street, paid off in full, and the savings and investment accounts you helped me manage. Hannah, you kept me alive the last years of my life. You kept a roof over my head when I had nothing left. You were my caregiver, my friend, my daughter. This is not a reward. It is simply what is right." I blinked. "Investment accounts?" I repeated, my voice small. "Yes, your mother had a retirement account, some index funds, and a life insurance policy. It totals to about $1.2 million. The world went quiet. $1.2 million. I felt dizzy. My throat closed up. I had no idea. All those nights she apologized for not leaving me anything. She'd been quietly planning for me the whole time. Across the table, Ryan exploded. "This is a joke, a sick joke. She can't do that. We're her kids too." Amanda slammed her hand on the table.
Exactly. How is this fair? Hannah's the poor one. She can't handle that kind of money. She'll blow it on, I don't know, cheap crap. Cheap crap. Like rent. Like electricity. Like gas to drive our mother to chemo. Mr. Jensen remained calm. Your mother's will is legally valid. It was updated a year ago, notarized and witnessed. She was of sound mind. Ryan turned on me. This is your doing. You manipulated her. You brainwashed her. I'm getting a lawyer. We'll contest this. Blake nodded, squeezing Amanda's shoulder. We have connections. This won't hold up. I looked at them. These people who had mocked my life, my struggle, my sacrifice, and something inside me finally snapped. For the first time in my life, I didn't stay quiet. I leaned back in my chair and said very calmly, "You should definitely get a lawyer." They smirked, thinking I was scared, thinking I was the same old Hannah. They had no idea what was coming. See, what they didn't know was this. I had already gotten one. Because a week before Mom died, she took my hand and whispered, "Promise me you'll talk to Mr. Jensen. Don't trust appearances, honey. Even the poor can plan." I'd met with him twice after the funeral. We'd gone over the will, step by step. We'd talked about what might happen when Ryan and Amanda found out. He'd recommended someone. A shark in a suit. A woman who didn't lose. So when Ryan puffed up his chest and shouted, "I'm contesting this will. You'll see me in court," I simply smiled. "Oh, you'll see us in court," I said softly. And right on cue, there was a firm knock on the conference room door. Mr. Jensen got up and opened it. In walked a woman in a navy blue power suit, heels clicking against the floor, a letter briefcase in her hand. Dark hair and a sleek bun, confident eyes. "Sorry I'm late. Traffic was rough." Mr. Jensen stepped aside. "Everyone, this is attorney Lauren Price. She represents Hannah." The room shifted. Ryan's mouth actually fell open. Amanda's hand flew to her chest. Blake frowned. "Wait, you already have a lawyer?" I turned my head and met my siblings' eyes one by one. "Yes, I do." I leaned forward, voice steady but shaking with years of swallowed hurt. "You mocked the life I built, taking care of the woman who gave us everything. You only cared about her house, her money, her insurance. Not once did you sit with her while she cried at 2 a.m. Not once did you clean up after her when she was too sick to make it to the bathroom. You weren't there. I was." Ryan stared at the table. Amanda's mascara started to run. Lauren nodded slightly, letting my words land. "She chose," I said. "Mom chose. This was her decision. And for once in my life, I'm not going to apologize for receiving the love I actually earned." The fight went out of them slowly, like air leaking from balloons. Blake glanced at Lauren, at the neat stack of documents, at Mr. Jensen's calm expression. He said, "This could get messy," he whispered to Amanda. Her voice cracked. "So what, we just let her walk away with everything?" Lauren answered. "She's not walking away with everything. She's walking away with what your mother chose to give her. You're walking away with what your mother chose to give you." She pushed 2 small envelopes across the table, $5,000 each. "And your memories." Ryan gulped. "Can we at least have something from the house?" I thought about it. About Mom's kitchen, the old couch, the worn armchair. Then I nodded. "You can each take one item," I said. "Something that means something to you. But the house, the accounts, the rest, they're mine. And I'm not going to feel guilty." Amanda's lip trembled. She whispered, "I want the mirror from Mom's bedroom, the one she used to get ready at, the one where she'd do my hair when I was little." I nodded. "Okay." Ryan swallowed hard. "I want the football trophy she kept on the shelf. The championship one. She always dusted it, said she was proud." For the first time, his voice broke on the word proud. I nodded again. "Okay." They didn't contest the will. They talked to a lawyer friend of Blake's who basically told them the same thing Lauren did. They had no case and they would look greedy and neglectful in front of a judge. So they took their $5,000 each and their chosen items. For a while, they stopped talking to me completely. Family group chat? Silent. Birthdays? Ignored. I thought maybe that's it. Maybe my family's gone. But here is the secret no one tells you. Sometimes
losing the people who hurt you is not a tragedy. It's freedom. I moved into Mom's house on Maple Street. I fixed the roof she'd been worrying about. I repainted the walls. I planted a small garden out back just like she always wanted, but never had the energy for. I sat with Mr. Jensen and Lauren and talked about what to do with the money. We made a plan. Pay off all debts, keep a solid emergency fund, invest the rest. Live simply, live safely. One afternoon, I sat at the same kitchen table where Mom used to cry over bills, only this time there were no final notices, no overdue stamps, just me, a cup of coffee, a pile of possibilities. And for the first time in my life, I felt secure. Not rich, not flashy, just safe. Months passed. Then one evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the street in gold, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Amanda. "Can we talk?" It said. "I'm outside." My heart stuttered. I walked to the front door and opened it. There she was, standing on the porch, no makeup, hair in a messy bun, eyes swollen. She looked small. I said, "Hey," she echoed. "Hey." For a moment, we just stood there, the ghost of our shared childhood between us. Then she blurted, "I'm sorry." She began to cry. She said, "I was so jealous. I thought you were the weak one, the poor one, the one who never moved up. But you were the one who stayed. You were the one Mom trusted. I was so afraid that meant I was less. So I made fun of you. I made you small so I could feel big." I swallowed the knot in my throat. "I know," I said quietly. "You know?" "Yeah." She looked up, surprised. "You know?" "Yeah. I've known for a long time." Silence. She asked, "Can we start over?" "I don't want your money. I swear. I miss my sister and I miss Mom, and I don't want Mom's last act of love to be the thing that keeps us apart." Tears burned my eyes. I thought of Mom on her last day. She'd whispered, "Take care of each other." I stepped aside. "Come in," I said. "Let's talk." Ryan took longer. He called me 6 months later, voice slurred and angry. "Congrats, rich girl. You enjoying the good life? Remember us little people?" I almost hung up, but there was something underneath his anger. Fear. Shame. I said, "Ryan, do you need help?" Silence. Then a broken laugh. "My back's gone," he admitted. "Can't play, can't coach, can't even pick up my kids sometimes. Medical bills are a nightmare. I screwed up, Han. With Mom. With you." I closed my eyes. Old Hannah would have fixed everything, offered money, taken on his burdens. But new Hannah, the one who had learned boundaries and lawyers and the power of saying no, I made a different choice. "I'm not your bank," I said gently, "but I can help you find resources, and I can listen, if you want that." He was quiet for a long time. Finally, he whispered, "I'd like that." So we talked. We didn't fix everything in one call. We didn't pretend the past didn't happen, but we started. People in my town still think of me as the poor girl sometimes, the one who drove the old car, the one who worked late nights at the diner. I let them, because here's what they don't see. They don't see the investments growing quietly in the background. They don't see the emergency fund that lets me sleep at night. They don't see the lawyer on speed dial who will answer if anyone tries to push me around again. They don't see the strength I built in hospital rooms, not boardrooms, in graveyards, not conferences. They don't see the woman who sat in a mansion listening to her siblings mock her poor life and held her tongue. The same woman, months later, sitting in a lawyer's office as her siblings' faces fell, when they realized the poor one was the only one Mom truly trusted.